Greetings, dear Cancer. This is Tarot Lumination, and that's you. It is your June 2019 miniature generic love and relationship report. You know the routine. Watch your sun, moon, and rising, especially if each one's different, and then reinterpret to suit yourself. Okay. Also, you know the drill. Invite your invisible friends. Make the most of this, okay? It's a team effort over here. I have what I think of as a team. It really enhances and fills out the experience, all right? The cards are already well shuffled in advance, but I go to the last second so that you're a witness. No jumpers, no flyers, no reversals, okay? But we are going to have an oracle this time, all right? Before I get into the final shuffle, I wanted to show you my Tarot Lumination Astrodoodle for June, for Cancer. Now, this isn't like a real chart. It's actually like a composition, like collation of bits and pieces throughout the whole month. I'll do the basics with you just to get the information across, okay? Look at it like movie credits. On the 3rd, we have the new moon in Gemini. On the 17th, we have the full moon, Sagittarius moon against the Gemini sun. 21st, we have sun in Cancer, okay? And Neptune flips into retrograde to join Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. That's a lot of heavy-duty retrograde energy going on. Next, I want to show you the trigger points. I don't normally do this, but I did it this month. We have some hot spots this month because there are some very sharp angles going on, aspects in the heavens. The Capricorn-Cancer axis is hot all month, okay? And it's not even July yet. It's not even the eclipses or the nodal thing. It's just what's happening right now. And it goes on all month, here, 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 and here. And it gets exacerbated by these other aspects. On the 6th, it's full on over here. On the 12th, 13th, it turns into this fat T-square because of the Libra moon passing. So it's a couple of days of stress. Over here, we have the same thing, but the moon is now in Capricorn instead of Cancer. And then over here on the 26th, the Aries moon's over here, so that amplifies the stressors. I'm telling you this especially because you are one of the cardinal signs. And so this particular stuff, especially this one, this one, this one, and this one, they will affect you through your feelings. The moon, I track the moon very closely, and you are the moon sign, okay? So I'm offering this as a way to help you to get through the month so that you know in advance that there are going to be these trigger points, all right? So there you go. You can pause the video if you want to. Just make a note. Let's get back to the chart itself. Over here, that big thing down the middle, this thing, okay? Okay, that's going to be bright red over here. Look, that's this thing, okay? So that's you, Cancer. All that energy sitting in your first house. Mercury is there, Mars is there, the North Node is there, and it's fully opposed by Pluto and Saturn, both retrograde. So, dear Cancer, you might be feeling some very, very deep, profound shifts, irreversible, perhaps very stressful, hard to manage changes going on in your most important relationships even, if you want to. And that would be expected with this kind of weather. Think of this as weather, okay? That would be expected. So this is a very stressful alignment for you, and it's going on all month. It's just like somebody has got you gripped, and the grip is not letting go. In fact, it's kind of getting tighter and tighter and tighter as we get into July. So I'm just getting you prepped up, okay? It's not the end of the world. It's just that it's a lot of pressure. And so the actual pressure dates would be the 18th-ish, the 26th-ish, and the 12th, 13th-ish, because those are the T-squares, the hot spots, the triangles that are very stressful. Now, of course, the sweet stuff for you, because you happen to be a water sign, is around the 18th, okay? Excuse me. Over here, I wonder if I could check that again. One of the trines. Give me a second here. Sorry, around the 14th, okay? I didn't mark, let me mark that on here for you, okay? 14th, I'll put that over here, and I'll put that over here. Give me a second. I'm sorry, I need to catch up. Okay, bear with me, okay? Bear with me. So around the 14th, right in the middle of the month, okay, we have this sweet spot. It's just for a few days, but it is very, very, very sweet, okay? This is a massive grand trine, a grand water trine, supported by two fat sextiles, okay? So it'll give you a bit of a breather, okay, against all this stress, all right? Let's get on with it. Let's just get on with the cards, okay? Hold on. Give me a second here. So gather yourselves, invite your invisible friends, make the best of this, make this a team effort. Cards are well shuffled. Here we go. Bless this deck, bless every single card, bless you Cancerians, bless Tarot Lumination, the channel, all the wires, electricity and cameras and all of it, the lights, all of it. Okay, here we go. What are you radiating? Think of yourself as a smartphone. Ding, ding, ming, 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 ming. Over here, what are they radiating? Okay, deep down inside of you, what's going on? Deep inside of the other, and at the very core, the relationship itself. Can you see this as a bowl? I call this my Tarot Lumination crucible spread. And it's on the understanding that there's you, Cancer, a significant other, and this thing that you own, which is called a relationship, which is its own thing. It's not you, it's not the other, it's the relationship, okay? And I think it's very important to take that into account in readings. That's why I do this. And if you think of this as a bowl structure, a crucible, it's designed to withstand incredible pressure. Sometimes it's not very well built. Sometimes it's not even, it's just taken for granted. So the more you're aware of this, the greater the chance of having success and happiness in love and relationship. So if you think of this as a potted plant, what is growing here, okay? What is growing out of this thing? Okay, over here we're going to look at the weather, okay, because that affects all of this. It affects you, it affects the other, it affects the relationship. Think of it maybe even as the planets. So you have the Eight of Swords. All right, so with the Eight of Swords, my feeling is that you're already perfectly aware of how stressful things are, okay? But you're not going to let that get to you. In other words, it's okay. Pretend I'm your Cancer, okay? It's all right. It's all right. I knew this was coming. It's been around for a long time. I've watched more videos than you can imagine. And I am fully aware of stuff over here, which is very hard to handle for all Cancerians. Thank you very much. I am aware. Okay? It is a never-ending puzzle. Well, actually, it will end as time changes. But it is a puzzle. It can be very challenging at times. Sometimes I feel very, very lost, confused, don't know what to do, wondering if I'm stepping in the right direction, wondering if I'm self-sabotaging, whether I'm being sabotaged, whether I am sabotaging and betraying others. Sometimes I just don't know. It's very, let's say, treacherous energy to live through this. It's like being stuck in a maze, in a puzzle, in a field without your smartphone or a GPS or anything, and you just have to figure it out. Every stressful, painful, potentially high-risk step that you take. Okay? What are you radiating here? Okay, Seven of Coins. Okay, so my feeling is that you're not taking this too personally. You've done a lot of work on yourself already, Cancer, because you've been living under that pressure from the Pluto thing for a long time. Now adding the Saturn thing, now it's all retrograde. Oh gosh. So you've already been living under heavy duress in relationship for a long time. You know it's not going to go away. So you're looking at it in a very thorough, non-judgmental way. It's basically saying, okay, what next? What is the next piece of doo-doo that I have to clean up? What is the next item that is impeding the value and the growth of me personally due to extraneous circumstances, the other party, the weather, whatever it is? Bring it on. I need to know what the problems are. It's almost like basically saying, I know this. I have so much potential wealth and value here, and I'm deeply vested, and I am not going to waste this. In order for this to work and to continue, I need to understand anything and everything that is impeding my own growth, my own nourishment, my own blossoming, okay? It's very, very important to know that, okay? A lot of people just want to be happy, 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 happy all the time. take more and more and more energy drinks, take more and more self-medications and everything. But you're doing the work, Cancer. You're doing the actual work, okay? It might be drudgery, it might be painful, it might be very stressful, there might be very little guidance on the way, or at least a sensation of it, but you're doing the work anyway. Like major cleanup campaign on yourself, knowing that is the best way and best thing to do right now for the other person, for the relationship, and for the world around you, okay? So this is a very big, generous, magnanimous approach and a way to deal with the month here, okay, for you. Oh, you know what I forgot to mention is the Gemini new moon and the Sagittarius Gemini full moon. That's over here, okay, in your axis of health and healing, refinement, purifying, clarifying things. So I have a feeling that what's going on here with the Seven of Coins and the Eight of Swords is a strong emphasis on this axis here about how you can take advantage of all the stressors that are going on this month so that you don't become a victim of the stress. You actually see the stressors as stress tests, okay? Finding out exactly what is wrong with me, what is wrong with the other, what is wrong with the relationship. And you've got to reveal it to heal it, okay? The chance for ultimate revealing starts on the new moon, Gemini, and then you have a few weeks to go deeper, deeper, dig deeper, diagnose. Aha! Now I understand better what is not working. Thank you very much. And then you can go from there and start to do some of the cleanup campaign and the revising, remodeling, repairing, restructuring that is inevitable as you go through all this period of time with all the retrogrades, okay? So it's sweet. I know it might not be comfortable to look at this in its simple terms, but for you, Cancer, I think you're dealing with this in a very responsible way. What about the other? Okay, Two of Wands over here. To me, it feels like what is happening with you, Cancer, is putting the other party on notice. It's like they're over here, they're just being themselves, living their own life, and they are sensing and observing this thing that we've just described about you. So it's almost like you're being you. Okay, remember, this is not a couple's reading. It's just about you, but we're allowing for your co-star over here. So, in the process of intimacy and separation, you know how all relationships go through these phases. Sometimes it's like this, and sometimes it's like, or sometimes it's like, or sometimes it's like, whoa. And there could be long gaps when you get these monstrous, explosive connections of love. And then you come back in. So I think what's happening is you've been going through these convulsions back and forth, on and off for a long time now. And there's no question that the other party knows about this. They're aware of it. And it's almost like they noticed, aha, we're going through another one. What the heck is happening now? How is that going to impact me? Like, it's almost like there doesn't even have to be hardly any dialogue here. It's mostly by observation. In other words, you're being you, they're being themselves. And in the process of you being you, they are having to operate from their point of integrity, going, okay, so now that I see what's happening over here with Cancer and all the stresses that they're dealing with, what does that mean for me? Where does that put me in the context of me and the relationship and my so-called loved one? What to do? Because then you realize as they are transforming and changing and doing their own deep cleaning and self-healing, that is going to transform the relationship, which is going to impact you, okay? It's inevitable. So that puts you on notice. Well, what am I supposed to do now? Let's keep going. Over here, deep down, we have the Knight of Cups. To me, this is a really strong affirmation that you're coming at this, June, with the best of intentions. Like, no matter how stressful it gets, you are always going to find the path to love. You are going to walk away from anything and everything that you discover that is erroneous, flawed, bust, or broken, that doesn't work understand and figure out what needs repairing and healing inside of yourself. You're not trying to save them or save the relationship. It's all about you taking care of business for you, okay? It's not a couple's reading, okay? It's all about you. And you're doing it in a very noble, just, and a very, very loving way, in a very romantic way, okay? With the best of intentions. Even though it's all about you, love thyself, love thyself, love thyself, literally taking that very seriously, you already know that the side effects of doing this really properly and authentically and doing the work with the most loving intent is and will be good for the other party and good for the relationship. So I'm very happy to see this here for you, Cancer. What about the other? Okay, the King of Swords. Okay, my feeling is that with the Two of Wands energy over here and the King of Swords energy going on deep inside of them, forget the gender, I'm just reading energy. What I'm sensing is deep down inside of them, they are being seriously put on notice because you are taking this month very seriously. Chances are it's going to get even more serious in July. And so it's putting them on notice. It's almost like, whoa, I really got to get my act together. Man, that means I'm going to have to go deep into my own stressors, my own dynamics, my own maze, my own puzzle about what's not right, what's not working for me, so that I might end up having to do the same thing as my Cancerian compatriot over here. That's actually a bit of a problem. On the other hand, it looks like you're going to rise to the occasion and that you are going to do justice to this because it's worth it. And in other words, anything less than that would be below you. Your soul knows that. So in other words, deep down you start to realize the only option I have is to get my act together too. Whoa, that's serious. That means I'm going to have to do a lot of soul searching. I'm going to have to look bigger and deeper for more wisdom, more understanding about whatever's not working with me, okay? So that I can keep up with my Cancerian and stay on the same frequencies and come at the same level so that, in other words, making the best of the challenges, because this very challenging weather here does affect the other party, even though this is not their reading, okay? And so I think they're feeling the pressure very, very seriously. And it's just, they're doing their best to be as responsible as possible under very stressful circumstances. In other words, since this is potentially such a stressful, like this thing here, 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 and the specific dates that are like what I see as trigger points, those are super high stress. You're dealing with them the best you can. You get a bit of support through the middle of the month, but as you take care of business and do this authentically and responsibly, it does put the relationship under pressure and it puts the other party under pressure. And it looks like they're dealing with it. They're just basically stepping up because they want to, because they probably sense the benefits of doing that. In other words, they don't want to waste the opportunity. Okay, let's have a look at the core. It says Five of Cups. So my feeling is that with the Five of Cups here, what will end up being discovered is a whole basket full of anything and everything that is not working, okay? Which would trigger the relationship to be in a state of grief, a state of stress, a state of sadness, a state of sense of loss, because it's what happened. And just imagine, you're being the responsible one here, Cancer. You're doing this with the deepest intentions of love, and the other party is on board with you because they've decided, okay, if you're going to do that, that's, we're a couple. We're doing this, okay? We're going to do it. And then you kind of, let's say you pretend you go to a doctor, okay? And you're saying, doctor, please diagnose us. Please diagnose me, the Cancerian. Please diagnose me, the other party, and tell us what is not working about us, okay? And then you get the report back. And the report is a huge list of all these things that are not working, that have been identified and brought out and exposed through all the stressors. And it might be very sad, okay? It doesn't mean it's the end of the relationship or anything. It just means when you basically, you're getting what you asked for, you know? You need, over here with the 7 of coins, you need to know what is not working so that you can identify it. You can't just like bulldoze your whole life, your whole relationship because of a few moments of stress. You've got still so much value here. It's just obscured by things that aren't working. And so that's why you can take full advantage of all the stressors here in the full moon and the new moon to get a diagnosis. And the diagnosis is basically like, okay, well, you asked for a Cancer. The diagnosis, here is a list, a litany of things that are not working. So there it is. Well, what do you do now? Okay, well, you wouldn't know what to do unless you had the diagnosis. Get it? Okay, so it might be a diagnosis that has been long in coming, long due, and with a long list of maybe it's just a list of lots of tiny things that have piled up over time or years or whatever, but you add it all together, it makes you weep. Literally, it makes you weep. The relationship is weeping. Okay? Over here, what is coming out of this? Okay, let's, with the 4 of coins. To me, this is a chance for salvation. Okay, this is a chance to salvage the whole thing, where by discovering an awful lot of what's not working, by going through like an endless maze of confounding, confusing, extremely hard to diagnose issues that have to be faced and dealt with, no matter how painful it is, and the relationship is carrying it, the relationship is fully capable of carrying the stressors of all of this. There's no question about that. It's just that it's very sad. So what happens is you discover that, okay, what's it going to take now to refurbish everything and create a new power base, a new foundation, a new structure, a new building, to do a complete remodel so that you have something that will stand up, for the foreseeable future. In other words, you go from here, you take all the assets that you have here, you go through the deep, deep soul diagnosis, and you create a plan. This is very much about like creating structures, order, power, foundations, new wealth, new abundance here in a way that works and will withstand the pressure, okay? And so that's valuable. That's very, very valuable outcome. It might not feel very romantic or very, very loving, any of this. It might feel like grim. But on the other hand, if you don't deal with this stuff, you can end up with what amounts to like a time bomb, okay? You don't want that. Obviously, you don't want to let the house fall down to the point where you can't repair. The relationship is obviously under stress. It's under duress. And it's full of love, but it wants to heal, and it means having to deal with what needs to be healed, okay? You can handle this, all right, Cancer? Don't worry. It's not the end of the world. I'm just saying that, we need to take care of this. This is taking care of business. This is all about extending yourself. Like with the pentacles here, love thing, I see that as evidence of love, okay? And doing what has to be done. It might be doing it the hard way, but love, from Tarot Lumination perspective, like a definition might be, love is the willful, deliberate decision to go above and beyond your comfort zone in order to spiritually grow, evolve, and heal yourself, and from there, your loved one, and to the world around you. The most difficult thing to do, of course, is to love thyself. And it typically means work, investment, time, and a lot of work is to do with the cleanup campaign here and to do with the remodeling. But you can't do that until you diagnose what needs to be fixed, okay? So just treat this as an episode or a chapter in relationship, all right? So I'm going to close out with an oracle card for you. It's from the Romance Angel deck from you-know-who. It's just an oracle. I'm just going to read it, and I hope it adds a little bit of perspective and new color for you. And then we'll go from there, okay? I might give you my spin on it, but I'm basically going to read from the book. You have to trust me. I'm going to call out the card on this. I am an instrument of an instrument. And so that's how it works here. Stop. This is your card. Calling in your soulmate. Okay? Let's read this together. Actually, let's do this together. Okay. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. Okay? I think that's what's going on here. Let's have a look. All right. So let's read this together. You, like everyone, have soulmates. These are people with whom you shared time in heaven and in other lives. You made a soul agreement to meet in this lifetime for the purpose of mutual spiritual growth. You have many such agreements with various people who are all your soulmates. They include friends, family members, co-workers, and romantic partners. Okay? So that couldn't be, this could be very specific about a specific person. This card guides you to actively call your romantic soulmate into your life, okay? Deliberately, by invocation. You can do this through prayer, affirmation, and visualizations. It also means working on yourself so that you epitomize the qualities that you're seeking in a partner. In other words, a partner who is willing to do the work to do all their refurbishments, remodeling, you know, the hard way, the sad way, perhaps the painful way. It also means working on yourself so that you epitomize the qualities you're seeking in a partner. For instance, if you desire a significant other who's got a great sense of humor, develop this within yourself. Like attracts like, which is part of calling in your soulmate. In other words, if you want to be with a partner who's willing to do the heavy work of clarifying, cleaning, healing, remodeling a loving relationship that might have gone wrong, that needs a lot of attention because there's a lot of issues that have been neglected perhaps over a long time. And if you've got a worthy, viable mate, dear Cancer, who's willing to go there with you, then that's kind of what this is about. But it means you have to, like, you're already doing it. You're already living by example here. But it feels to me like you're putting the other party on notice, and it's very stressful. That, like, deep down, they're going to have to exercise their maximum integrity, possibly against their will. Like, they might not really want to do this. They might be really PO'd that they have to do this. But they're going to do it anyway, for the sake of the relationship, for the sake of themselves, for the sake of you, for the sake of love, okay? All relationships go through ups and downs as we intimate and we separate, as we intimate and separate. And if you have enjoyed great love together in a truly delicious way, like all relationships, we go through cycles where you discover everything and anything that's not working. And that's what I think is being exposed here. And it might be very sad. It could be tragic. But it's not the end of everything. It just means, wow, you've discovered new layers in yourself and each other in a relationship that needs more work. Love can mean work, okay? It can mean investing. It means putting in the time, the commitment, the energy, okay? The resources, the dedication. All right. I think the imagery here is really, really appropriate. Just, I'll hold this still. Hopefully you can see it. It's almost like a picture speaks more than the words, okay? Just interchange yourself with whatever gender, okay? All right. Thank you very much, Cancer. I hope this helps you. And please do the routine, subscribes, likes, comments. I love it all. Membership really helps. Check out the links below. If you need to, you want to check in and let me know how this reading works for you. I'd love to hear that. Thank you very much. All the best, Cancer. You can handle it. Don't worry, you can handle it. You've got the weather forecaster. You've got all this stuff. You know, you've got this. You've got this. Like, if you don't watch these kind of readings, perhaps you might really come unstuck. But you're here for a reason, all right, Cancer? It might imply that you are already aware of all of this at the deep soul level, okay? and now it's time to do the work. And you might have a reluctant partner to do this, but they are there, okay? It's happening under duress, but I think it looks like it's going to be worth it because they're going to learn and grow so much from this themselves. Bye-bye.